Check, check. Wait for it. That's better. Check, check, mic, check. Chat. Who is ready? Let's go. Round of applause. Round of applause. Happy freaking Friday, chat. Yo, keep the applause going, man. Don't let that stop. Don't let that stop. Yo, who's ready for another 0 Point podcast, brother? It has been so long since we have done one of these bad boys, and I cannot wait to get into it with our guest today, man. Oh, wait, hold on, yo. Keep the applause going one more time, chat. What's good? I see a lot of y'all out here, man. I see y'all. Let's do it. Let's get to it, chat. Oh, welcome back, y'all. Yo, one more round of applause. Let's go. Bring it up. Let's go. Let's get it. How's everybody doing? I see Hunting Spirits and Zareska over there on Twitchables. Who else we got over there? Red Leon James is here. What's up, man? I see you, bro. Who we got on YouTube? Okay, Afro's here. You know it's a party if Afro's gonna be here. Netflix, what's up? Or Nightflix, excuse me. Mason's here. What's up, bro? Levi, Volcanic, Gaming with Rec. Of course, Rifty. Dyer's in chat. Team 7's here. What's up? What's up? What's up, Luna? I see you. Oh, Jay-Z, what's good, bro? Yo, chat. Who's ready to talk to Team Genesis, man? The creators of the best Fortnite live events in several years, man. I'm so excited to have them on. Listen, we're going to bring them all on in a second, but I want to make sure everybody's doing good. The vibes are good. I know we got a lot of stuff going on in the Fortnite community. We're going to talk more about all that next week, but today I really want to make this podcast, this live stream, about our guests. There's been so much going on in the community over the last few years when it comes to the storyline. I used to cover it heavily. I used to be such a big fan of Fortnite's storyline, and then once Chapter 4 hit, things kind of fell apart for me. I fell away from it. But these guys, I have to say, have reinvigorated my interest in the Fortnite storyline in a way in which I could not have anticipated. So, with that being said, I think it's time that we bring on our guest. Huh? What y'all think about that? Should we do it? I think we should get into it. Let me go unmute myself, bro. Everybody's back here, backstage. Hopefully they're behaving.
Excited.
Yo, can y'all hear me? Can you guys hear me? Are you guys here?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Well, hello, guys. Hello, Genesis Studios team.
Hello, Clark.
Hello.
Clark Clint.
Hello.
Listen, bro, man, I'm so happy to have you guys here. Yo, hold on, yo. Let's fade the music out. Chat, we have these are the guys, chat. They're here.
The guys.
Actually.
The guys.
Are you this is the right crew, right? You guys just you are
No,
the actual
we made red
fakers.
versus blue.
You made red.
Yeah.
Did you make red versus blue clicks?
We did.
Yeah, maybe.
See, okay, you know what? Nah, chat. See, this was a mistake. Okay, I knew that I shouldn't have done this shit. This was not. I can't do it. For making a clicks map, these guys are frauds. Unbelievable. All right.
Yeah, good podcast.
Good podcast, guys.
Oh man, listen.
No, we didn't.
Look, guys, I want us to have some fun today. I know I think this is going to be a good amount of people to have on the pod. I know that there are a couple more that were supposed to be here that couldn't. And if they end up showing on later on, that's totally fine. But I really want this to be about you guys and really highlight your contribution, your accomplishment in the Fortnite community, the creative space. Listen, before we get into everything, before we introduce everyone that's on the panel formally, I want to say a couple things to you guys that I don't know if I don't think I've said to you guys directly, but I think that what makes your project so special is the fact that there are multiple aspects of the Fortnite community that you guys present very well. I think you guys are a fantastic testament to UEFN as well as creative Fortnite. The things that you're able to do with your team is mind blowing. For a indie dev team to be able to put together these things. Your ability to tell stories has been fantastic. Although I, of course, have had my criticisms of the Fortnite storyline and even some of your guys' work. Really, at the end of the day, like what you've done is just so mind blowing to me. And of course, tying into storytelling, of course, is thus the concept of the live event overall to make a Fortnite creative experience that is a testament and really it pays tribute to in my opinion, the best elements of Fortnite storyline. I think that is just another thing that's captivating so many people to enjoy your work. And when we go to the pod today, I want to talk about all of that. I want to go over all that and just highlight just how amazing you guys are. But I needed to say that before we got into it today, because out of all the podcasts that I've done in probably the last year, this one is one that I've been personally very excited for, just because of how impressed I was with your guys' work. I had to go back and watch both live events today before we did the pod, and I just, every time I look at it, I'm blown away. So anyway, I hope that's good enough of an intro. But I'm very honored to have you guys on, and I'm very impressed with you guys. It's fantastic what you do. Let's do this, because we have a few people on the panel. People can't see your guys' profiles or faces, but the person that I have been the most in contact with is Sir Rifty. He's the one that really helped me get all of this set up. So what's what I want to do? Rifty, I want you to introduce your team, your team of people that you work with. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then introduce each one of our guests. And I want each one of you guys to explain individually what it is that you do as well. So go for it.
So obviously, I'm the CEO of Genesis Studios. I've been running Genesis Studios since July 2022. These are just some of the team members, excluding Druba, who is a contractor but still worked on the events we've done over the last year or so. So I want to introduce them. So I'm going to start with Link's Top, who literally brought these events to life. Without him, these events, these events wouldn't exist without Linkstop, because he's the animator. He does all the animation.
The only animator. Help.
For now, we found someone else. But
so hang on, let me get this straight. So you animated everything?
Yes.
Every event, all 4 events.
You're the only animator?
Yes.
Yes.
God bless you. How? Why? Okay, we'll get to that later on. Keep going, please.
Yes. Okay. So, and then that's what Lynx does. I'm gonna introduce you to Gigala, who has. He's been on our first event. Actually, he was the main villain in our first event. Then he came on to Genesis as human resources, and then climbed the ranks to co-CEO. He's now my co-CEO alongside my other co-CEO, who's not here. He's probably in the chat though, Damien.
Yeah, he is.
That's my co-CEO. He oversees all the stuff. His computer passed away during the development of Skyfire, and he's been doing well ever since. Tedious.
No, we don't care about him. Can we skip him? No one likes him.
Yeah, you already know me.
No one cares about Todoist. Why? Trash. Next. No, joking. Go ahead.
Tedious is one of the 3 writers for this event, and partially the last event, and of course the next event. And his writing is incredible. I reached out to him. I was a massive fan of Tedious. Back last year.
Still so weird to me, but anyways, yeah.
You'd be surprised. And it was just a pleasure to work with him on this. And honestly, a pleasure to work with everybody else on this. And yeah, so Ben Lowry, he worked half. He did about, wasn't it 50% of the music for this event and the last event? You and Johnny. Obviously, Johnny's not here today. He was supposed to be, but he has a job. So So Ben worked on the music for the live event, which honestly, it's incredible. It was worth every minute and every penny, honestly. So we could be working with you again next event. Who knows? But yeah, that's everybody who's here. At least, obviously, there's about two people who are not here who were supposed to be here. I think one of them just forgot because he never told us he wouldn't be here. Probably
he did,
and the other one notified us yesterday. But
it's okay. You can fire the ones that didn't show up later. It's okay. Yeah, my
it's okay. Got him. Yeah, unreliable.
Gigala will handle them when the stream is over with. It's fine.
He'll threaten them.
So here's my first question. I want to know from the beginning, how was Genesis Studios formed? What was the What was like? What made whose idea was it? How did you get everybody together? And actually, before you answer that question, real quick, how many people currently work under Genesis Studios?
Okay, so I started Genesis Studios. I had a team before Genesis. It was called Titan Studios, and it was a disaster. I won't get into specifics.
That's why.
But I shut down Titan Studios in like March 22, and then opened a new team. Of course, Genesis Studios now.
What
in
what
July?
projects did you? Hold on a second. Is that Link?
What?
There he is.
Wow.
No,
okay,
no,
should
no,
I-
no. You're late. You don't get to be here. Trash.
Get out.
No, I'm sorry. I was
You
having
should be.
internet problems.
You had one
was
shot.
having
No, no one wants to
internet
hear that. Okay, you have no excuse. Internet problems.
You got the
my
shotgun.
ass.
Do you
Giggle.
want me to
You know what to
introduce
do. Go.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
guess
since he's
that's
here.
This evil Clark Kent really is real. So
No,
sad.
this is normal me. Okay.
Yes.
God,
do you want
that's
me
even
to-
worse. What's it? No.
Okay. Do you want me to introduce?
Please
Okay.
introduce our belated guest.
Okay. So the very reliable guest who showed up just on time, Lynx, the other Lynx, not Lynx Top, did a lot of the concept art and a lot of the budget going higher in the event. But that's fine because it was worth it. And he did actually quite a lot. He helped with, he was kind of like doing advice on the writing, he did concepts. The big tripods in the event?
Yes.
Click. He worked on those. He made that concept back in mid 2023, and we seen it, and that's why we hired him, because we feel it would work so well in.
And it
Was
an
that
accident.
inspired by War of the Worlds?
Yes.
Almost definitely. I love that
Yes.
bomb.
That's amazing. Okay, I will get to
Yeah.
you later, sir. But that's
So-
awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
Should we not be saying all this on stream?
back to the present day. Present question. So yeah, it was about founding Genesis. Yeah.
Yes. Also,
I
wait,
kind
real quick before you get further into that, one quick question. So
Sure.
the previous studio's name was Titan.
Yes.
So
That's
what
why
did
in the playtest it says that. It makes so much sense.
so what was it that you were doing with them? Was it supposed to be this concept, recreating live events or making new live events? Is that what the goal was back then?
No. We did live events back in 2021, but we never delved into it as a possible, like blow up. We did creative battle royale map called Golden Island, which we did 2 events for, by the way, in UEFN under Genesis there last year, Doomsday and Convergence. That's how it ended. And obviously Golden Island, we didn't feel it was too big of a success, and we felt that we weren't going too far, and we just weren't enjoying it. So we decided to end the experience about last year. It was it was the year before that, but the experience had been going for 4 years. And yeah, so we kind of moved on to live events and other things, which obviously I can't really talk about right now until they're revealed later on in the year. But we've been working on other ideas and all that. And yeah, so what was it again? Yeah, about Genesis. How many people are working at Genesis?
Mhm.
So hold on. There is 49 people at Genesis at the moment. So across all different projects, mind you, there's like 10 people on the events at the moment. So
you've got
We're
more
looking to-
projects than just the live events that have been blowing up.
Yeah.
then.
exactly, yeah, we have about 4 or 5 projects other than the events in the pipeline. So we've
That's
been
impressive.
working on those.
So you had the old team, you started the new team, and so
Yes.
what was your goal? What was your vision when creating the new team? Because like you said, you obviously don't have to go into detail of what happened with the other one, but you learned from the mistakes of the last team, and you
Yeah.
wanted to build something completely new. What was the initial vision? First of all, I guess I should ask this: instead of giving up, what inspired you to keep going and just start from scratch and create a new team? What did you set out to do when you created Genesis?
Well, when I created Genesis, I was like almost 16 or something. Realistically, I just wanted to. We just wanted to make good things for the community. at the time, obviously, Discover wasn't an issue as much as it is today, but we just wanted to make quality experiences for folks that, enjoy it and all that. And, obviously, I feel like now, at least, we've begun to succeed in said mission. And that's what's just continued pushing us forward for the last 2.5 years.
So, okay. So, all right. So you've been doing So you wanted just to create experiences for the community to enjoy.
Yes.
That was basically the basis for it. But
That
what?
was.
But what made you want to do Fracture? What made you invested in wanting to do the Fracture event?
So Lynx and I, so it was actually Lynx who came up with the idea first. He was like, I'm thinking of doing a Fracture event. And I was like, would that not be like dangerous and whatever? Like, we were pretty against it at the time. But instead of doing the Fracture event, we decided to hold off on it and do another event. It was called Doomsday, which was completely unrelated to the Fortnite story. And obviously that did fine, but it was actually the worst performing event of all 4 of our events we've done. And so I think it was around August last year. No, yeah, early August. We were planning this Fracture remake, and then we began working on it. Was it late August? And then late August, late August, early September. We began working on it. We began teasing it, on the accounts and all that. And honestly, the first time we did it, the drive was just to fix Fracture. There was never any intention to make a fully fledged storyline with 3 events like the Geno thing. The Geno thing was only added around 2 or 3 weeks before the premiere. So it was very, very last minute decision to make more than one event in the same universe.
How the hell are you guys animating all this stuff that fast? It's insane.
I'm just
Ask
broken.
Lynx.
Or I should say Lynx. Yeah. How let me divert it here. How bro, from your perspective, it's like, okay, you make this live event, right? And they're like, hey, we want to add Geno in at the end. We're gonna need at least another 1.5, 2 minutes worth of animation. Can you do that? How do you get it done in such a quick amount of time?
First of all, that was my idea, the whole Geno series.
Yeah.
So you wanted to give yourself more work.
Yes. Why not? Yeah, so I thought it was a good idea, and I thought I could make it real quick. It wasn't too difficult actually. If you notice, the ending is actually the Doom throne animation, so it didn't take too much time to work on.
It is?
Yeah, pay
I
attention.
did not do that.
Wow, bro. Okay, jeez, this is attack people because we're impressed by your
This is
amazing
why we
work.
gotta
Okay,
fire you.
you fire him. You have no more live events.
No more.
No, not
Literally.
Link's top.
I am keeping them hostage. They're paying me.
Yeah.
Wait,
We're keeping you hostage.
I'm pretty
I was
sure,
going
yeah,
to
it was
say,
the other way
you're in the
around.
basement, aren't you? Yeah,
Let
Keep
me
going.
out.
Always got to keep one of your employees in the basement. That's a requirement. Always.
Exactly.
Shout out to Tanks.
It's just me. Everyone else is dead.
Are
Help.
we going to employ the nickname system here, because I think it's going to get
Yeah.
quite confusing.
Yeah,
Links
links.
were-
Yeah,
links
we
written.
Okay, Mr. Top and then Links. How about that? Okay.
Mr.
Mm.
Top.
Don't just stop that.
Top
You know
links
what?
and top links
Please.
and links.
Whoa.
Top links to top G. We'll go with that. How about that?
The joys of a cheap mocap suit.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. I also have a really cheap mocap system. It's called Mocopi, a Sony system. It's used for VTubers actually, but I'm cheating the system.
Huh?
I'm not joking. If you look it up,
Interesting.
So
it's for VTubers.
I remember we actually Zoom called Epic Games in November. You told them that, and they were like, "Oh, okay." They were very confused.
Yeah, I think they were disappointed a little. I'm not gonna lie.
wait, hold on.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
you guys have talked to Epic directly?
Yes,
We have a
Yeah,
group chat
we
with
have,
them.
and it was very lovely.
So what? Okay, man. That's every answer leads to another question, which gives this is okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what? Maybe I'll save that. Maybe I'll save the Epic Games question for later because that's also impressive. But then again, you've had the likes of Donald Mustard, reacting to your content as well as the top content creators in the space. So
Mhm.
it makes sense that you would get the attention of Epic eventually. I want to talk to you guys about that later as well. But when it so anyway, so Link's Top was able to turn around the animation at the Geno edition within 3 weeks. You said correct?
It took, I think the scene took him about a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a week.
I told him to add the "to be continued" question mark card. That was initially never going to be there. I told him to add that just in case we ever wanted to go back to it. Turns out we did.
Very good
so-
idea.
Mhm.
Very good idea.
The implication that that's where it was gonna end is so
Yeah.
funny.
So
Nobody wins.
so what? Remind me one more time. I apologize. There's a lot of moving parts here. So it was Link's Top's idea to add Geno in at the end of the live event.
Yes.
So when you're is that a conversation that you're also having with the writers as well? Kind of like, hey, I'm thinking about adding this thing in. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
And now you're
I think I want to mention this. I think it's fine if I mention this, right? I came up to them saying, "Can we make it so the Cube King actually shows up at the end?" Well, it was the Cube King before Geno, and they're
You're
like,
gonna make
"I don't
a lot
know.
of-
I feel mixed
Yeah, we just
about it." And then, like, I thought, like, who else hasn't appeared in the storyline that much? And I remember
Wasn't
the
it also
big
gonna be the
main
Nothing for a bit?
antagonist. Yeah, it was supposed to be
Yeah.
nothing. I actually animated.
There was going to be
as the Nothing
someone that
first.
was actually behind everything, and then we just realized it's probably best to do Geno because you
Yeah,
know,
because then it's
so
gonna
many
be
people
confusing.
want him, and also
Like, I think
untapped
Geno-
potential with his character too.
I think Geno was definitely the best move. But hold on, wait, hang on, real quick. So originally it was going to be the Nothing that was behind everything.
Yeah.
So was
Yeah.
he still
Even-
gonna turn into a chicken, or did you have to rewrite that?
Okay, no, he
Chicken on the
was gonna turn
throne.
into a chicken, but that was originally that was part of like the deep sweep thing, you know. And
So it's
he
part of the
was holding
illusion.
them all. Yeah,
I see. So he made them think. So originally it would have been the Nothing made them think that they would have won. And
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. So all right, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about, since we're already on the topic of it, we're probably gonna flip flop around a lot here. All right. So bear
Yes.
with me. But let's talk about some of the storytelling aspects of this process. When it comes to scripting the initial outline, like for the initial project, right? Like the initial vision of where you want to take the story. How, like, who kind of is in charge of that, and how do you balance that with the animation? Like, are there some things that you're thinking about, like, you want to do, but maybe they're too costly to do, or they're just a bit too unreasonable to do? Like, so how do you, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how do you find the balance between scripting from a writing standpoint, figuring out where the story's going, and animation?
It's tough because like I make most of like decisions. I let the writers like go haywire on Skyfire. Like I didn't do much. On
Yeah,
that.
that is very true.
Yeah.
No, I told them just make a fun event and I'll animate it. Okay, bye. And I
Pretty much.
was just telling them like I don't think I can do that. I think I can do that maybe.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
how this went
all that
wrong.
stuff. Yeah, originally like the blade of stasis like that Gino has. Originally was gonna have to contact the person in order to send him into a deep sleep. But then I thought my cheap mocap suit ain't gonna be able to do that, so I'm just gonna make a funny little wine that connects to the characters to send them into deep sleep.
I see.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, it's just some kind of, sometimes I just log into UFN and just see if I can make it on in my free time. And if I can, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
I see. So so you had more involvement in the writing process for the first project. In the second project, Skyfire Aftermath, you were a little bit more hands off from the writing standpoint. But if there was something that you felt couldn't be done, you would kind of interject, be like, hey, maybe we can rework this. In essence.
Yeah.
I see. That's wild. So, okay, let me ask all of you guys this. I want all you guys. So I'm assuming all of you guys are fans of the Fortnite storyline, then. Right?
Yeah,
No.
well, you know that, but yeah.
No, Giggler, did you say no?
No, I said no.
Not anymore.
No, it was a joke.
Fair enough. I was like, damn, I was
I
gonna.
am a fan. I'm sorry, I was a fan of the storyline.
Yeah.
Yes, that's probably the better.
past tense, yeah.
So how long have all of you guys been? So everyone feel free to answer one at a time. But how long you guys been like fans of Fortnite? And then also like how long have you been paying attention to the storyline? Like when did you kind of start getting involved with the
So-
storyline?
I began, like, obviously, I started playing Fortnite in late 2017, so I've been playing ever since then, which is a problem. I'm 18 years old. I was 11. Anyway, so yeah, I've been following the Fortnite storyline. I followed it since the Meteor. But I'm gonna admit something. I kind of stopped completely following the storyline after the desert car season. I forgot the name of it. But-
Wrecked.
Oh, right.
Yeah, wrecked. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite for the story anymore. It just kind of started falling off for me in around late chapter 4.
Mhm.
But that's just my personal opinion and stance on it.
To be fair, in terms of playing Fortnite, I think I may have played the least in terms of time because I started in Chapter 2, Season 3, and didn't start creative till later. So I'm a latecomer into all of Fortnite. So I really started learning about Fortnite in 2020 and started understanding the lore from there. So I picked up lore from the season before, so that was Top Secret. And I started about there. So when it comes to the original storyline, I don't really know too much on it, but I did a lot of reading, research, and everything just to understand a bit more.
Mhm.
So I'm a little bit behind
Yeah.
comparably.
The chapter 1 story, I have to say, it's very vague, and it's more so just there to give the seasons a theme. It's not really you can't really
you can interpret lots of meaning with that. Like
Yeah.
it's not super specific.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
However,
the thing is,
Hmm?
sorry, I was gonna say, I think that's part of the charm of it. It's
Yeah.
like you don't know anything, and it's very ambiguous. Obviously, it
I
works
think-
a lot for like the
In my
beginning of the
opinion,
game.
in my opinion, I think that's good for like, the first chapter because like
yeah,
you're just a looper. You don't know much about like, what's going on outside and all that
I
The
stuff.
story's
missed
taking
that.
its first
That-
steps.
But like in chapter 2, they had to do like this switch up where
'cause
Word.
you're
I
like,
think
key
I
part
think
of
it,
the
I think
story.
that's one of the, like you were saying, Links. It's one of the benefits to chapter 1. Like I was doing research for a new video covering like my favorite era of OG Fortnite, and as I was going through it, there were these different seasons. I was remembering certain things that were that were going on with the story at that time, and we weren't really worried about characters as much as we were just kind of like the evolution of the island. Donald Mustard really, what he had set out to do, making the island the main character. He had
Yeah.
like in chapter 1, he had definitely succeeded with that. I think though in chapter 2, kind of where it sounds like Gigala was getting invested into the story, that kind of shifted, and now it's kind of this mix between Jonesy and the Seven being the main characters,
Very-
and the
Very
island.
character-focused.
Yeah, and the island's kind of, sitting there in the background, but still it made sense because the island, in my mind, the island can only be
wait.
so prevalent for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As like a main focus.
It was
what I love
more-
about chapter
No, go on.
1, what I love about chapter 1 is you have more questions than answers. Like, oh, like who are these people digging up Loot Lake, or like what is that? What is inside that rock in the hole? Like there's a lot of questions,
I
and
agree.
that's the fun of chapter 1. There's a lot of mystery, so I enjoyed that.
But man,
Yeah, like
let me add on to that. Let me piggyback off that real quick. I think that's true, but I think the brilliance of chapter 2 is that for a lot of those questions, you get answers, but those answers lead to bigger questions. Because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, the people that were behind the secret government, right? And that we were looking at in chapter 1, well, that's the Imagined Order. Well, what are they about? Well, there's this Dr. Sloan character, there's this Geno guy, we don't know anything about him. And it just
Didn't even know
when
anything about him.
you get to start to meet these characters, right? But even when you meet them, like Geno having this ominous purpose of creating like a perfect society. Well, what does that really mean? And that seems like when I look at your guys' live event, it seems like you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it seems like you're trying to fill in the gaps, right? Like you're trying to kind of put in place like what are some things that the Fortnite storyline did not cover.
Yeah.
Tedious. I'm gonna go to Tedious for a second. Tedious, you and I back during the Theris days, we used to have
In the
long
glory days.
Yeah, bro, during the during the
Mhm.
glory days. But we used to have long
Mhm.
conversations about
Mhm.
like different things, like filling in the gaps with certain things. Like I remember one conversation we had in particular. I think we talked on like in a Discord over like 6 hours this day. But like we were talking
That
about
happened
how
so many times, but yeah.
it did. But I remember we were talking about how the spaceship or the vault in chapter 1 season 8's event
Yeah.
looked like the spaceship from chapter 2, right?
Mhm.
And we were kind of saying like, okay, well, how could that have been a thing? Because there seems to be some kind of there always seemed to have been like an alien connection on the island.
Yeah.
As one of the 3 writers on the project right now, do you have like are there particular things that you want to kind of headcanon your into your storytelling? They're kind of
Yeah.
there's certain things that you want to
Yeah.
tell with moving the plot, moving the storyline forward with the live events that you guys are doing.
Yeah, so as Link's Top said, right, with Fracture Reshaped, it was kind of more they had the Genesis had the vision for the event. Rifty contacted me. He's like, "We would love for you to help write this." I didn't make much of like the layout for that. Link's we more just kind of wrote the dialogue to assist the event, you know. But Skyfire, Link's Top pretty much gave us total creative freedom, and luckily the pitch that I put forward with the rough scenes and the layout, Timeless and Whiskey loved it. So I keep saying like I feel like it's Skyfire is my kind of ideal event. Like it's everything that I wanted. So one of the main things I really wanted was Mari, like the chick with the earpiece. I thought she was such an interesting character, just like a kind of conspiracy theorist going against Sloane, and then we never hear of her again. Fortnite never does that. They always give us
they always follow up with their characters. What do you mean? Like,
resolutions
what?
stuff. Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to make her important. I wanted to make her try to get revenge on Sloane, and then also that kind of showed, it was like a good idea on paper, but of course when the Looper picks up the gun and aims it at Sloane's head, Geno's not going to go, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to let this happen." So that kind of also showed when he stopped that was a good way to show like the deep sleep and stuff. And I think with Skyfire, I wanted to sort of because that period of the story, right? That chapter 2 season kind of, even though Primal was not great gameplay wise, like the story was still pretty strong. Season 5, chapter 2 to chapter 3, season 2 was all really, really solid. So I think I wanted to explain the Jones, like how Jones got captured. I liked that we got to do that. Again, I liked that we got to have Mari back in it. And I feel like there was one other main thing, which I feel like I might be forgetting.
General.
The general.
Oh yes, the general.
The general.
Yeah, and that whole kind of, well, just the whole concept of Skyfire aftermath being like we want to actually show that these are like menacing guys that actually damage the island instead of just some little orange paint splatters on the map. Like we kind of got to change that, and also the bunker too. The bunker's a lot cooler on the inside than it was in,
biggest disappointment ever.
Who is so? Actually, I was gonna ask about that too. Who's doing set design? Who's coming up with like the layouts?
Me,
Bro,
Damien.
you have to animate and come up with all the sets.
I animate, I build, I model. I do a
You
lot of
model
stuff.
everything now.
Like the
There are
Lynx
people-
are like the strongest people in this team. Be
Wow.
be
The
aware
Link
of them.
Dynasty.
You guys do the
We are
fusion dance and
sorry.
just put your ideas together.
Very, very multifaceted
He's my
individuals.
clone. I can confirm. We
There is-
cloned.
Excuse me.
I have to give an honorable mention though, because there is a guy, his name is Alistair's, who did a lot of the material work for this event
Absolute
and the
peak.
last event. And I have to give him
My
credit as
God.
well.
Like importing, wasn't it?
He did the memory tunnel, the Rift Tour
Yeah. Oh, that
thingy
was sick.
part.
I love that bit.
The thing that the player goes through after touching the butterfly in Skyfire. He did that. He made that.
Yeah, you just reminded me. I want to go back to like Quark's mention of like how we were gonna headcanon our stuff. I really want to like bring back that chapter 1 feeling of, the player like having their own like stories based on what they see. So like the memory tunnel. So like when you saw that in Skyfire Aftermath, you think, was the Rift Tour a deep sweep? How does that work? Like all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And also the like I say this every time, but if I always want to tell people that if you don't like the latest event we make, like for example, if you don't like Skyfire Aftermath, you can headcanon it like to make it so that, you know, General 1, and that's it. That's the end. Everyone is in the deep sweep forever. Chapter 6 is deep sweep, all that stuff. And yeah, so I really like that idea, and I think people are kind of enjoying that a lot as well.
Especially
Well-
with chapter 4.
Yeah. Never real.
So actually, that was one of the other things I was going to ask you guys. So
Oh my lord.
kind of help me piece together what's real and what's fake. So the fracture
Everything's
event,
fake.
everything's fake.
Everything
If something's real,
from-
you're in the Matrix.
Everything from obviously season 0 until chapter 3 season 4 is completely real. None of that's fake. And then I'd
Including
say-
Fracture Reshaped is also real,
Yes.
which people
yeah,
are
most
confused
of it.
about.
Yeah.
And then when
And-
you
Oh,
when you
yeah,
black
yeah.
out during like the the paradigm sacrifice, that's when the deep sweep happened.
Yeah.
And I really like the idea of the like the transition to deep sweep being so like incredibly smooth that you don't even realize it. I really like that idea,
Mhm.
and I think that works because people still have no idea what's real, like
Yeah.
your car.
Yeah, that's kind of the one of the harder things to follow, but it does make it interesting to think about. Like, okay, well, when did Geno step in? Right? Was the nothing turned into a chicken real? Like, those are kind of some of the questions I was asking myself at the
Yes.
end of the first live
Mhm.
live event, right? Right, and like you guys told me before behind the scenes, like yeah, Geno or the nothing becoming a chicken was like that was the real thing that happened. Like that's his new form as of right now, right? But
Yeah, that's
it's
the body he's been put into.
yeah. But it really, the thing is, this is what I will say. There was, both events were impressive to me, but there's something about that fracture one that's just, I don't know, for me personally, I love it. Like every time I watch it, to me it feels like the stronger of the two.
Yes.
The
Same.
Skyfire Aftermath is really good. There's a lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue that's kind of trying to fill in blanks. One question that I have about Skyfire Aftermath is Geno's sword. Because of course we see it at the end of the fracture event, right? We can see that that's what's putting everybody into a deep sleep. And then we kind of get a bit more of the backstory for it. First of all, that Geno's sword, that was never in the original Fortnite storyline. That's something that you guys came up with, correct?
It is not in the Fortnite story. I came up with it. Yes.
Oh,
Technically
okay.
speaking.
Wait, so you said technically speaking?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
the ageless.
The
Yeah, I
sword
mean, the blade itself.
exists.
Yeah, it's the Aegis pickaxe, but just like recovered with general
Yeah.
colors.
Right. So what was the inspiration for coming up with that sword? And like why that? Why give Geno the ability to put people into a deep sleep with the sword? What was kind of the thinking process behind that?
Be honestly.
The
So
Matrix.
About the
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I always like saw Jenna as this guy who's willing to do anything to create this like perfect society.
Mhm.
And I felt like by creating a fake world, he could win like easily. So I thought like if it wasn't an original Geno, but then as soon as I thought of Geno being the replacement at the end of Fracture, I was like, yeah, that should make sense. And when I was making the ending, I was like, how can I show the source of everything? So I just opened Fortnite porting and saw Geno's pickaxe, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna use that. No explanation yet. CO in Skyfire to be continued. I just put a funny little society log on it. More on that in Big Bang and Warped. Mm-hmm.
So in Big Bang, are you going to go into more of the backstory of how he actually acquired the sword originally?
Yes, I can confirm that. You will
Okay.
see that.
Big Bang is crazy.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
About
I
so
read it-
far it's crazy.
I did actually read the second draft of the script today. It sounds cool. it's a lot cooler than Skyfire. I think Skyfire's biggest flaw, and I'm gonna say this too because I did watch Skyfire like 50 times. That Skyfire's biggest flaw had to be the dialogue really stretched on at parts and like there
It was
wasn't enough
in that
going on.
Geno scene
The
towards
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
we
flown.
just didn't have any other way to show it with
We
memory
yeah.
constraints.
we very well knew that people wouldn't like this event as much as Fracture. Obviously, we knew people liked them both, but even we didn't like. We liked the event, but story, like obviously visually,
It's a
maybe
good,
not
it's a
as
good
much.
second act. That's it.
But third event will be 50 trillion times better. It will incorporate both things.
I like it more than Fracture Reshaped already. That's what I'm gonna say.
We're actually dropping a multiplayer update tomorrow. Go play that.
Oh yeah,
Yes, actually, that I'm actually very excited to hear. When you guys told me about that earlier today. For those who don't know, they are going to be dropping so it's going to be 4 players in total, right?
Yeah.
For the
Yes.
Four
for the
players.
multiplayer experience. That's
Mhm.
going to be neat. That's really dope. I like that. And
Yeah.
now for Big Bang, are you planning on doing that out the gate, making it a multiplayer experience?
we
We're
will
looking at
see
it.
we'll see what people think of this multiplayer. Where in sequences you just see your player, and then in gameplay it's all
Mhm.
4 players. If people like that, sure, we're bringing that in Big Bang right away.
Yeah.
Because I really like seeing like group reactions. And I
Yeah.
think if we introduce multiplayer, that's gonna be a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of that.
And I think our premieres. Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I think our premieres would do much, much better as well. Because I know there's a lot of folks out there that would love to watch our events with other people, but unfortunately are limited to, video calls, and we want them to be in the same lobby, the same area, like and everything. So
Right.
it'd be nice to incorporate that. That's a big question everybody asks us.
Ain't no party like a Genesis party.
Real.
So
Damn you, Links.
So, actually, since Links just spoke up, bro, I gotta say this right now. One of the most impressive things to me, when I was watching the newest live event, were those tripods. That blew me away. As we talked about earlier, that was definitely inspired by War of the Worlds. But how do I ask this? What other assets have you worked on for the project? And what are some other things that you would like to maybe incorporate in the future that you're thinking about?
Well, I did make a large Twitter thread about all of the little things I sprinkled about.
Yeah.
But the main things were the logo for the event, the first and second iteration of it.
Mhm.
The textures of the order at the end in the credit scene.
Okay.
Very pioneered for, by the way. And what else? Well, those are the main big things anyway. Besides
The
from
sound
the
design
monitors, of course.
for the deep sweep. I guess.
Yes. I did make the ambience for like the wasteland area at the start, like the
Really?
cubic wasteland. Yeah,
But-
there's like ambience. It's very faint in the background though.
Real quick, let me say this too, and this is going to tie into something. I want to also get Druba to start talking a little bit too, because I know he's been kind of quiet. But this is going to kind of tie into that. I want to say that the sound design in this one seemed a bit more polished to me than the last live event. Maybe that's just me, but I really did like the overall sound design of this event, like just the way that between the characters' footsteps, the ships coming in, the explosions, all of that. It felt very cinematic to me while watching it. But Links, you play a part in the sound design as well for the events.
Not much. I made the soundscape at the start. Like said, I did the blade of stasis like sounds, if that makes sense, of like harmonic whirring. Outside of that, not really a lot in the sound effect department.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of worked on most of the sound design as well.
See, the timeline for this project was a lot longer than the timeline for Fracture. We only had 2 months for Fracture. This one was like
insane.
4 or 5 months to work on it. So, it was longer. So it sounded a lot better.
Yeah, we started pretty much the day after Fracture. I think it was.
We started.
I mean, to be fair, even the day of, we were having ideas, and I know Lynx, you jumped on the idea of like, oh, we should definitely do more events.
Definitely, yeah.
So-
HR disagreed.
Well,
HR
not all of HR. Let me state that.
So Giggler, let's go to you. Let's go to you for a minute. So,
Hmm.
walk me through that day of the first event being released. Right? What, from your perspective, co-founder, right?
Co-CEO.
Co-CEO, right? HR department. what was it like from day one, from your perspective, after you guys had posted the event, seeing people's reactions? What was that like? What was the talk behind the scenes like for you guys?
So it was actually kind of divided a little bit. On the day of, before the event, there were a lot of talks as we didn't know how everything was going to go. And obviously,
Oh yeah,
we
can I
didn't
mention
have.
that? Let me mention that real quick. The final version for Fracture Reshape with all the music and sound effects was
Yeah.
published like 2 hours before the premiere.
Mm.
We were terrified because we were giving the event to Epic and we were begging them, please accept this as soon as possible.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I was scared that we were gonna get stuck in like
Yeah.
there's a bug where you can get stuck in moderation for 24 hours. And every time that I was really hoping that wouldn't happen here.
Hmm.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Big Bang, please do not, I beg you.
Well, no, you're just jinxing it.
Yeah, you just jinxed it. But no, behind the scenes, it was definitely kind of, I wouldn't
Rough.
say tense, but there were tense moments. We definitely had points where we didn't know how things were going to go, and we definitely had parts where the team was worried about how much work we put into this, how much we're going to see out of this. But when it came to the actual time, with the outpour and reaction we got to Fracture was incredible. The just pure reactions, the videos, the streams, everything was incredible. I think highlights for us was getting the follow by Donald Mustard,
The Game Awards.
the Game Awards following us.
Yeah, we got that.
ahead of
Was it that? Oh,
Skyfire.
That's also insane. Yeah.
We had Nick A30 dedicate an entire stream to Skyfire. And he did a whole video on Fracture. We had Cypher react, we had Courage react.
Clem.
Hello?
I think my thing died for a second.
I think my
Lovely.
Discord just-
Great. Yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Wow, I thought I got kicked for a second. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, it sounded like I got disconnected. Maybe the entire Discord decided to
Yeah,
stop
I'm
working.
pretty
It
sure.
may have
Yeah,
been.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Anyway,
we'll
Clem.
just cut back in. Nothing happened at all. It was all Damien's fault. So I'm blaming
He's
our
not
other
even here,
co-CEO.
but yeah.
Always
Yeah,
blame
he's our other
Damien.
co-CEO. I'm blaming him. But no, I had the pleasure of recording Fracture, and I was actually going to be recording Skyfire as well, but our others took that one. So you've just been
People's godly
playing
PC.
my gameplay for the past like 40 minutes until you've come onto Skyfire, which is always fun to see.
Mm.
Yeah.
But no, from behind the scenes, it was quite a journey, honestly. And as HR at the time, the team was, we were all over the place a little bit, but
Still
in
are.
the end,
No.
we've all been incredibly happy with how things have gone.
I would imagine
And-
so. I mean, you've had some of the most
Yeah.
influential people in the space react to your project.
Mhm.
And the other thing too that I'm noticing when I'm listening to you guys talk is there seem to be a lot of jack of all trades in amongst the group.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people don't just do one thing. You know what I mean? Like there's multiple people have multiple talents that are being used and utilized to coming together to make the product. But there is one thing in particular I want to ask you about, which is when you saw that follow from Donald Mustard. How did that feel? What was that like? Like how was how was everybody reacting behind the
Prior
scenes?
context, that was
Yeah.
4 a.m. for me. I went to
Yeah.
sleep, and then my phone started like exploding literally. I
Mhm.
opened,
Yes.
and the first message I see is from Rifty saying mustard followed. I was
Yeah.
like, I was thinking like mustard please, what? Who? And
Yeah,
then I
both of them
see
follow
I
up.
see a screenshot he sent me of, the mustard's page, and it says follows you. And I did
Yeah.
not sleep that night ever, like at all.
That
That
was
night
wild.
was
The
crazy.
official Donald Custard.
Well, I think a few of us were still awake somehow,
Mhm.
and I remember Rifty just sending that message through, and I think most of us were in probably our beds or asleep, like Lynx was saying. But
I
I
was on my
think,
PC.
yeah, you were okay. You were still on your PC, but we just saw Rifty send this screenshot in, and we started losing our minds.
Nobody slept again.
Yeah, if we weren't sleeping before, we weren't now.
Was that within the
We
first
did.
24 hours of the project dropping too?
First
That was
5 hours.
4 hours after
Five
the
hours.
Yeah,
So
About 4 hours after.
word spread. How did things spread so fast?
we don't
You
even
don't
know.
know?
Yeah.
We just
For me,
kind of
it was-
think. To me, I think it was the reaction it had on social medias and YouTube, because the amount of impressions we got on everything during that time period was incredible.
Mhm.
I think, like, we've now been fortunate to have talks with Epic. Just recently, this week, Fracture Reshape was shown at GDC by Epic
Yeah.
themselves,
Wow.
Yeah.
as showing off how sequences should be done. Which is also funny because then it means they acknowledge our Fracture's better than theirs. Just saying. But no, the reaction to just everything has been incredible, immense, and I remember, what was it, for the next 3 days we would not stop getting notifications from the Twitter.
Mhm.
Like, it was
And that was
non-stop. We
literally-
went from what, 1K something to nearly 4K
Yeah.
in 72 hours.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And the game Awards followed us 40 minutes before Skyfire premiered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was when
kinda
it was from the Wasp Pie.
It was wild
what
because it was
is-
beforehand. I thought it would be after.
Mhm.
I didn't even think the Game Awards would follow us in the first place, but it was just so cool because it happened during a watch party, and I started yelling because I was on
I have
speaker
a
and there were like
recording.
50 people.
There's a recording of that. It's in like a
There is.
community response video.
Yeah, it is.
There is. Yes, it's in the. Yeah, you can see that.
But no,
I
like
think-
definitely like for my part of like how it got around was like obviously I was an outsider looking in by this point. It was definitely through a lot of like the Twitter promotional stuff. I mean, I myself I'm already like interested in like, oh, UEFN events. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like it's cool to see other people make their things because obviously I tried to do it myself a few times. Not like UEFN, like Creative 1.0, God forbid.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
it's always just been an interesting topic. And obviously when I was seeing all the promotional stuff, I was like, holy peak. Fracture but good. This actually looks heat.
I think you kind of confirm my suspicion. Like, I think what got us so far is marketing. Like, not even us. Like at the start of like Fracture Reshaped, it was just people like leakers. We saw a bunch of other people like saying, "Hi, come check out this Fracture remake. It's cool. It has Midas, I guess. Play it." And yeah, it has
Personal. Oh, sorry.
yeah, a lot of plays. I think were from that.
I personally think that Skyfire got around even more than Fracture because Skyfire
Absolutely.
Skyfire overtook Fracture in plays last night.
Definitely.
Skyfire.
Wait, total plays?
Yes.
Total plays.
So Fracture
Wow.
has only 380k plays, and
Yeah, only.
Skyfire
Pathetic.
has about 395k plays.
So
Wild.
So you know what that means though. That means that people are looking for your projects now.
Yes.
That's what that means. Because you had also told me within the first 4 hours, I think, or was it the first 4 hours you were telling me about before? You were comparing like how many people played in the first 4 hours
It was.
from this one compared to the last one or something. It was like
Yeah.
200,000 or something like that in the first.
Mm.
Oh
hours
my God.
for
No, in the first week, I think. It was
The
the first week.
the
Yeah,
so you
because
guys-
like
Yeah.
First week or two.
I
we
remember you
reached
guys
100K.
saying that. Mm.
go ahead.
But
No, I remember. Sorry, I remember you guys saying that like the initial like player count of like Fracture was like 1.57 or something. Okay.
1750.
Yeah, that was it. 175. Okay. And then we jump over to Skyfire, and it's like 11,000
Yes.
insert
it's
people.
Where they come from?
11,500.
And
Who are
it's-
these people?
the fun fact: the peak CCU for Fracture has not been beaten since the premiere. However, Skyfire got beaten with over 29,000 CCU.
And then it's just
a day
sad at the fracture peak for the entire next day. Just
Yeah.
normally. That's crazy.
And so I'm guessing you guys obviously you didn't have any idea. There's no way, like even when you put out Fracture, you did not expect to have this level of success. When you put out the initial project, I'm guessing, right? Because this was,
No.
like you said, this was the most successful. That the Fracture one was the most successful one at the time.
Yeah.
But see, now here's the crazy thing is you guys have created a reputation for yourself for making these insane live events, and I'm sure the other thing too is even with this new one, I don't think as many content creators have reacted to it yet as they did Fracture.
No, they haven't.
No.
But I'm sure that's coming in time, right?
Hopefully.
Because it's so like I don't see people not reacting to it. It's what I feel like when I look at your guys' productions is you're giving people what they wanted. They want, this is what they wanted from the Fortnite storyline to begin with. There's certain characters that they built a connection to, that they have an attachment to, and those characters have been kind of left by the wayside for the new Fortnite storyline. But you guys are kind of, in a way, giving people like this alternate timeline, this what if of kind of, in some ways, kind of how you feel. I don't know if you're necessarily trying to do it the way that you think Donald Mustard would have told the story, but you're trying to, like we said before, you're filling in those blanks, answering those questions that people had before. Like, one thing that I thought was really impressive that you guys did in Fracture was you incorporated the Curse of the Golden Touch as a way to combat the Chrome, which I thought was like, that was chef's kiss when I first saw that. I know back in the day, Tedious and I used to have conversations about that very thing. And I think Tedious, I mean, he was not the one that came up with that plot point.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's-
it was Links as well.
Me again.
That was there. So,
Links was a massive part of event one.
that's that. So, how were you just waiting? Were you just looking for an excuse to use that when you were coming up with the part of the plot for the first live event? Then,
when I was thinking of Fracture Reshaped initially, I was wondering how we could have a weapon. Originally, it was gonna be some kind of Guav. You know how the Kid Leroy UFN map,
Mhm.
or that Guav item. Yeah, it was originally gonna be like that, where you touch the chrome, it turns gold. So it was like an artificial golden touch. It was originally gonna be that, and I think it was one of the writers suggested that we made it like actual weapons, and I really liked that idea. So we made them the aura weapons.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's kind of how it came to be.
That's, like I said, that was from the first event. That was my favorite aspect of it. Just that little detail, that very subtle storyline nod that was never addressed, that plot point that was never used, but it seemed so obvious. You guys gave it purpose, and that's just that's just what I love about the overall storytelling. Like it looks like you guys are trying to give purpose to every plot point, that you're introducing, like as well as answering those questions. One other thing that I think is done very well, that kind of ties the whole package together, is the music. The music, I absolutely love the music that has been a part of these projects. Specifically, the one that absolutely slaps is the theme that plays when Geno first enters.
Oh yeah, no, agreed.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god,
love
that
it.
was fire. I know. So Druba, you worked on a lot of the music for both events,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, I did.
Tell me a little bit about the music making process. What tracks you you worked on specifically, kind of your inspiration for some of the tracks, the thought process behind it. What are some of your favorites? Just talk, bro. Yap a little bit about the music.
Yeah. So I worked first on Doomsday. I did all of that one, but that was a pretty short event. It was like 8 minutes. I did. Me and John both did like half of Fracture and half of Skyfire. So for Fracture, my part was right when the 0 point like exploded and the island like flew away, up until after the Herald got like revealed and she lifted the Sevens helmets. So I did up through there, and then John took over. And then I came back in when they reached the 0 point, and the Herald came in again. So got to that, and then I did all the way up until the start of the Herald fight. And then John did the Herald fight. He did the Paradigm dying, all that. Then I came back and started doing the Nothings part. So right when you came in.
W.
Yeah. And then
I love that track
after-
too. That was intense. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Nice little callback too.
Yeah, I used some old concept music I had written back for the actual Fracture event for the UEFN map. And then John took over the rest, and then I did it once Geno started again. So that's what I did for Fracture. And then for Skyfire, it wasn't as split up as much as Fracture was. It was just I started my part at Geno's entrance, and then I ended right when he was sitting on the throne and like smiling. And then John did the post-credit scene, the credits for that.
I see.
Yeah.
Very nice. So when you guys are doing the music for this, are you doing music sorry, how do I say this? I'm sorry, let me rephrase the question. Are you looking at the footage and creating music based upon like the visual cues that you're seeing?
Yes, so we do a scoring based system, so I can't really do a whole lot until I have the footage. I can maybe like sketch out themes and stuff, but I need to know footage for tempos and key changes, and if me and John are switching, like handing off the football a bunch of times, then I'll have to plan with him too to make sure. This one was a lot easier because we didn't switch off a bunch of times, it's just once. So yeah, I do have to have footage most of the time.
That makes sense, but that also explains why the music ties everything together so well. I think of some of my favorite movies like Terminator 2, right? I believe it was Brad Fiedel who worked on that yeah, bro, W movie. But I think it was Brad Fiedel who worked on the score for that. But same thing, like I think it's Terminator and then Back to the Future. Those two scores, when I hear that, like they are very iconic. There's something that resonates with me. I get chills, especially like when I think of the Back to the Future theme, right? I get chills every time I hear it. But both of those scores were, you're talking about full orchestras that are looking at, the visual cues. Are looking at the cut of the movie, and they're making scores based upon what they're seeing. I think when you're doing it that way, it adds such a more personal layer than trying to just create a bunch of tracks and then put them over. Which I got to say this too. I think that's just very impressive. Like what you guys are doing musically is, I think a lot of people take it for granted, but I'm a big fan of music in general, all types of music. TDS and I have had multiple conversations about music behind the scenes as well in the past. But one thing that he and I used to talk about was kind of how important music was to our YouTube videos. And I remember explaining from time to time, like my process of trying to find the right songs that fit particular moments. If my voice, if I have a certain cadence to my voice or a certain pitch to my voice, I need a track that's going to match that, right? To set the tone that I'm trying to go for, right?
Yeah.
That is something that is, I don't feel like enough creators, not just YouTubers, but creators in general, they don't understand the importance of making music that fits the tone of what's happening on screen. But what you guys have done musically, it's just so fantastic. Everything just fits perfectly into place. But like I said, I'm hearing you, absolutely, bro. But I'm hearing talk about your creative process. So you know how you're trained in? Are you trained in reading music and writing music?
Yes, I play the piano and the cello. I've played for
fancy.
about 15 years. In terms of writing, I
Damn.
started learning how to write music in chapter 2, season 8. If you want to do season wise.
I see. What are some of your from Fortnite? What are some of your personal favorite tracks in Fortnite overall? The things that Fortnite has done.
Personal favorites. I think the most complex one that exists is Zero Crisis in terms of like theory
Yes.
point. I really like the island flipping theme from season 2 or season 8. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guitar viol parts that plays in like the Foundations theme and all the 7. I think that's super cool. I like the IO fighting theme. I use it a lot, especially in these events because the IO is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also always love when they do the Marvel kind of really cinematic music style.
Who are some composers or producers that you take inspiration from?
Well, first and foremost, Phil Boucher, just because it's he's the Fortnite composer.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I would say Lauren Balfe. He writes the Mission Impossible soundtracks, and he also did a lot of other ones. Him and Hans Zimmer. I really do like Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer's amazing. I love him.
Yeah, I do like his more interactive works though. I like his work on Kung Fu Panda and like Pirates of the Caribbean rather than just. I like Interstellar too, but the more basic, just chord progression style scores are cool. But I think the more melodic ones are even more fascinating.
Very
Like
nice.
a bit of Alan Silvestri.
Yeah, Avengers. Yeah,
Yes.
super cool.
Rifty, when you first heard the music, what were your thoughts when you heard it for the first time for the for Fracture?
For Fracture,
Mhm.
so we actually heard the music in little bits. They sent the music in little parts, like 2-minute segments, 30-second segments sometimes. Obviously, it sounded cool, but obviously, I was testing the event without hearing any music. So I'm not gonna lie, the event I was testing Fracture. It looked cool, obviously, but it definitely felt like there was something missing. So anyway, a few hours before Fracture premiered, we got sent the final track, and then I did a final test on the map on the event using the music, and it sounded incredible. Like, I'd personally give it like an Oscar for best composer.
Can I just mention this? I know this is your thing, but when
Yes.
Job was saying like the moment where like Hera was like "Welcome back, Paradigm" and all that stuff, that like song, I think I started levitating. I was outside when
Yeah.
I heard that.
That
That
one
went
gig.
so hard. I think that's my favorite like part of any soundtrack you've made.
Yeah.
So it's so
Yeah.
That one
amazing.
also
I gotta be
has like
honest.
the most likes
Yeah.
on Twitter.
The
Yeah, got us
change
1,000 likes.
between the music footage and the non-music version of the event in all of the playtesting. I mean, I've played Skyfire probably too many times at this point. What
Yeah,
are
it
we up
makes
to, like
such a difference.
60, 70 times I've played Skyfire, and about 20 of those times have had the music in.
How
And
many times you died to the tripod because I
oh
didn't
yeah,
make it
there
properly?
was a bug where the tripod would actually kill the player. So the amount of times I actually got stood on by this tripod and Lynx kept sending me back in to this same scene just to get killed and killed.
Tripod
Yeah,
issue
but
was causing us.
if
Tripod
if
issue was causing.
tomorrow you die to the tripod, kill me, thank you.
Yes. Still causing us problems, by the way. We've been having issues since yesterday.
That
So,
cursed
It's the
tripod.
it's the most annoying part of the whole thing.
yeah.
I
We
remember Lynx
we
so
almost
many
lost the
times.
event.
Lynx top was like, what was the time where
It's
there was
when we
one
got the
small thing, I
textures
can't remember what
for
it
the
was, and
tripod,
we're gonna have to cancel everything. And I
yeah,
was,
the textures for the tripod, they
Hmm.
broke all animations for the model. I was like, it's Jover, we're not gonna bring this back. How are we gonna do this? And now
The
I
head
just
was really
figured it
dodgy
out.
for
let's
us.
just go straight to Big Bang.
Boender's a beautiful feature to, transfer animations to other rigs.
And I
It
mean,
saved us from death.
we weren't meant to release really until tomorrow.
I wonder
Originally.
who made us release earlier.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
may have
Giga,
Who would
been
that?
me.
Who would that have been?
Yeah.
Here's a question. Why do you guys put yourself under such a rigorous time constraint? Like for the first project, you gave yourself 2 months to get it done. Why not just have
Uh,
no?
Because we can.
first time it was because we can, yes, and the second time, Giga, our very smart HR person, DM'd Nicky 30, and I
Oh,
wasn't even
no.
aware. He told him that
You
the
gave
event premieres on
permission.
March 15th, and
Yes.
we were terrified because
In
we
my
had to finish.
defense, I
finish
asked
the
for permission. Link
I
said
was playing
yes.
ballistic with you, buddy. I did not understand a
I
single
was
I
word.
will-
walking and playing ballistic at the same time, and I
Yeah.
asked a very important question midway
You're
through the game.
very good
just
at
saying,
I will-
"Oh yeah,
manipulating.
can I tell Nick? Can I tell Nick the timeline early so that he can get stream ready?"
I swear
Yeah.
to God, I did not hear that question.
I
I
didn't
just
hear it
said
And
either.
Link
yes
said
to
yeah.
whatever you said.
Yeah, and Link just
I
said
will-
yes.
I will
It-
say about so Big Bang. We're being a lot more organized this time. We're gonna have 2 months to
Mhm.
plan the event, and then it'll actually start production in May.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say when it will release because I honestly could. It probably will release in like 5 years. Who knows? So I'm not gonna say anything about that. But I will say it starts production in May. We have 2 months to obviously do pre-production. So that's something we're gonna doing. So
What do you, outside of the additional time for pre-production that you're giving yourself, the grace you're giving yourself just to get the sucker planned out, what other things are you thinking you might want to do to make this event even bigger than the last two? To make this an even bigger deal?
Oh, so I think I can mention this.
more money.
We might be working with a certain UFN team to, bring verse coders into this.
Yes.
Just bring generally like people who know how to work this stuff. They've released a lot of like collab stuff. I'm not saying anything about collabs in this event because there are
Yeah.
some planned. Something is planned, but I cannot speak about it.
Some crazy
Uh,
shit.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna speak because I cannot confirm that something is gonna happen. Maybe it's just gonna be fully original. But
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. These guys have a lot of
Maybe.
connections.
Let me say this real quick too. You seem to have a very, out of all the content creators that reacted to it, you seem to have a very good relationship with Nick A30. Very interesting relationship with Nick A30. Talk about like kind of talking with him a little bit behind the scenes and his what he's kind of done for you guys, his involvement, where
So-
it's supporting your projects.
That's-
What has that
it's-
meant to you
Okay.
guys?
It's
So
been a lot.
oh sorry.
The
This
king
is Giga.
himself.
The king. The
Oh
king.
no.
I think the big thing, firstly, was Nick reacting to Fracture. No, sorry, it wasn't. We started
Convergence.
back with
No,
we
he
started with
watched all
Nick back
events.
in Convergence. Then he watched Doomsday, and then Fracture, then Skyfire. But he actually remembered us each time and has
Yeah.
just keep saying how much we're improving. Every
Yes.
single time he said it's gone from cringe at the start, which is out since I was the main villain. Then it got to Doomsday and it greatly improved. Then it got incredibly better with Fracture. And this time it's just blown all expectations out of the park.
Yeah.
And
Of course, there's
Nick...
still improvements, but you know.
Oh yeah, no, there still are. But Nick's been incredible to talk with, and we're incredibly fortunate that he made an entire video just dedicated to Fracture. That was amazing.
I love how you guys are really, and this is, I think, the biggest. This is why you guys are doing so well in my mind. But what you're doing is not just giving the community what they want, but you're giving them something to look forward to. You're giving the community an event, something that unifies, that rallies everybody together, which is what I think
Yeah.
that is so amazing about what you guys are doing. And I know that the great thing is from the start, that was pretty much your goal. Like when I was listening to you guys talking, when you were explaining everything earlier, I think it was Rifty that said like the goal was really just to give the community something fun to to do, to observe, but I think it's also equally as amazing that Nick A30 has been supportive of you guys since before, all the success that you've had, and now that let me add this on top of it. There's so many things I want to say. I'm sorry. I'm trying to trying to piece it all together. I think the other aspect of it that's neat is how persistent you guys have been, and how you've been working on your crafts. Everybody pulling their resources together, their skills, their techniques together to continue to make each project better than the last one in some way. And that's, as a content creator, one of the things you learn is what it's not about getting all the success right away. Like, you're gonna, obviously, the cliche, you're gonna fail more times than you succeed, but it's the consistency, how you're consistently putting in work and effort and trying to improve the product, the experience that you're making. It's drawing more and more people into a point where now you've got the attention of not just the biggest Fortnite creators in the space, not just the old chief creative officer of Fortnite, but also Epic Games themselves, and you're able to show the world like these amazing projects that you guys are working on. I wanted to ask you, because now that you guys have the you have the clout and the resources to do this, have you guys ever thought about getting more of the larger content creators involved, maybe for voice acting or cameos for
Yes.
future
We
projects?
did. Already, it
talked
was
about
in Skyfire. Skyfire, yes.
Do
But
you want
we're
to?
gonna
Okay,
be
Can I say this?
speak. Yes,
So,
I'll review it.
Yeah, I think I know what
So-
you're going.
Go
Oh
ahead.
boy.
okay, so in Skyfire, we actually, there was whole talks. They went this far. We were gonna have Jojo to open the event for us, Jojo Josiah,
Really?
and we had group chat and everything. We had Tanks as well, I think. Oh no, it was Cabbage.
No, it's Cabbage. Yeah,
Who?
it's
Yeah.
Cabbage and Jojo instead
Yeah,
of
we have-
Jogo and Gunner.
We had plenty of, but then in the end, when we were like writing it and all that, we realized it wouldn't really be a great opening for an event to have content creators cameos take over the actual story, and it would like be better, like, for example, if they voiced a random Ioga that died or whatever. But obviously that didn't end up happening, and we didn't really want to take that magic to open the event in a better way than to just, I feel like the way the opening is now is better than how we initially thought of it. I think the initial way, if I remember correctly, one of the ways is like the event was supposed to open with you continually falling out of the sky, getting hit by the abductor, and then landing. I think that was the way, wasn't it? I could be wrong, but
That was an original plan.
it
That was a
an original.
possible
Yeah.
way, but we wanted to, like, the idea pretty quickly was like I think the scene is called, like, Under the Rubble is what it's called officially, was like the two IO guards were going to come
That was it,
rescue.
yeah.
Yeah.
But giving also kind of like what I was saying before, like giving the characters like Mari and Jenna and stuff, like giving them kind of like importance. We kind of could do that for, I guess Gunnar kind of already had importance, but like making him a star of this event when he was more of a background thing, and then Doggo to kind of balance his very kind of harsh nature out with the more lighthearted stuff. I feel like that was a better way to kind of open it.
I also just want to give credit to the voice actors. for-
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
not
we know
only just
Dennis
all the event,
might be
but
listening.
Dennis
Yeah.
and Jarrett both are incredible people, and they're incredibly fun to just talk to behind the scenes as well.
Yes.
And
David as well, and
Mm.
Suzanne and Nate.
Yeah, they're
they
they're also
all-
like passionate about the voice acting here, and
Mm.
it's amazing.
Now the rest of like few lines we had a little bit of fun with behind the scenes.
You always have to do that with the voice actors, man. The voice actors always got to have a little bit of fun, kind of just
Yeah,
play
exactly.
around, goof around a little bit. That's part of the
Yeah.
joy of it.
How many
I-
times a day do we quote Skyfire behind the scenes, guys?
Too many
Oh, the
times.
brain rot.
What was
I
it
mean-
when we were doing the premiere and Lynx, as in not Lynx top, Lynx was just like reciting the whole event while we were watching it. We couldn't hear what the fuck's going on because he's
Yeah.
just talking the whole
The
time.
Lynx
Oh,
is
oh,
brain rotted.
Sounds like
Fuck him.
Loot Station. You and Loot Station would get along really well.
Oh, and also singing the Fortnite themes. He does that too.
Yeah,
Speaking-
British as well.
Speaking of Loot Station, he is a huge fan of your guys' work. He
Oh, I
absolutely
forgot
is.
about
Yes,
that. Yeah.
we've seen, yes.
Loot.
Yes.
He was
Yes,
actually
you've seen-
offended
Wasn't
he
it-
wasn't
was-
put in the credits of your.
I bet he was really happy at the amount of XP the event gave.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, that was. I'm sure that
He
was
did.
actually a highlight
in
for
his
him.
reaction, I remember he said that. Wait, Clint, wasn't it me, you, and him on a call in your server when I told him I worked on Fraction? He was like, "What?" Or that I was
Yes.
working on it.
When
And he
that
was
was
like-
that was when I first found out that this was even a project, because I had no idea anything about this. But yeah, that was
I
that was
think I
that call.
told you, yeah.
It was you you showed me a bit of test footage. You sent it in the group chat, but it was me and Loot were in there with a couple of the mods from my server.
It was stuff that had already been shown, by the way. It wasn't against NDA.
I was
no.
about to
It
say,
was all stuff that had never been seen before. HR,
No.
get
Yeah, I was about to
tedious.
say, what about the NDA? Yeah.
Cool.
No, it was
I
something
hear
that had
the
been-
shotgun in Gigo's
Yeah.
microphone.
It was something that had been posted. It was all good.
Okay.
That
The
wasn't
snipers.
tedious. I'm gonna get you
Was,
fired
I
so I can
swear.
take your spot as the writer on the next
There
project.
are 30 scopes aimed at TDS right now.
It's fine.
Uh,
I'll know. I'll find
I
what you
can-
I can see the sniper glare of Link's top out my window. I'm terrified.
Hold on.
Run.
Don't worry, bro. We'll get your reboot card. It's fine.
Please.
My aim sucks. You're fine.
But no, the voice talent you guys had has been amazing. On both projects. I like your choice for Dr. Sloan. She was really good. But really the two standouts to me in the newest one were definitely Doggo and Gunner. So
Gunner
those
was
two.
really good. I really liked.
I really liked
Yeah,
it.
he's
Same.
great.
The Doggo, was he based on Cord from Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I don't.
That was
No,
an
I-
accident.
but-
That was an
but-
accident.
So many comments.
The voice actor had kind of said, he
Yeah, it
did
was
give a
originally
little
like,
bit of inspiration, but we
Mm.
never gave him the cue for that.
He was meant to be
While-
British
colleague-
originally. Like he wasn't even meant to be
While-
kind of Aussie.
Yeah.
While we're
Yeah,
on
he was
topic,
a British dog. I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
while
I'm gonna
we're
quote
on,
what I've. Yeah.
okay.
Go on.
While we're on the topic for inspiration, the general was heavily inspired by Thanos.
Especially the
Didn't
weapon.
know this. Yeah, especially the weapon. We inspired him
Oh.
completely off Thanos and how he's weak as hell in other universes.
Yeah, no, that was
actually
that was
now that you mentioned that makes sense. Now that I'm seeing the thing about the animation with the weapon and everything, that makes complete
Yeah.
sense. It almost felt like a bummer though that he got taken out so quick by Geno. Like Geno, here's the thing: when I was looking at the video, I'm like, what the? I'm like, if Geno was this strong, how the hell did he lose in Collision? Like,
Wait till
bro,
you see him in the
He
future.
got tackled off of a balcony.
It's called
That's-
Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Marvel plot armor.
Yeah, Marvel.
fair enough.
But yeah, no, he just got tackled over a railing into the collider, wasn't it?
It
Yeah,
was
in
just
the-
the
in the
zero
zero
point.
And then
point,
he
I
died
think.
because he got in the zero
It's so
point.
pathetic. It's just so
so dumb.
pathetic. I cannot believe it.
I
That's not
hope-
happening in Big
I'm
Bang.
just
This
saying
guy's
it's
getting
not. Yeah.
a
We.
great
Slowly,
fight.
my son and fix this.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he didn't die in Collision.
No.
He kind of.
Yeah, but he also didn't. At least when
He
we
didn't
said
win.
to be continued, while just showing Geno, it actually was continued.
Yeah,
First one, I was just
that's
like,
one thing I noticed
yeah,
was
bro.
Geno was reformatting himself pretty quickly after the I like that scene. I was like, yes, closure. that
Closure.
felt good to see Geno actually reformat himself very quickly. Makes me
Yes.
still wonder if the Imagined is going to have any significance. If Daddy Geno got reformed, maybe the Imagined was able to. Reform herself,
Actually,
too.
now that you mention it, that is a plot line we're
Kinda
gonna
did.
tackle in Big Bang. I'm not gonna mention anything about it, but it is a
I'm not
plot
gonna
line.
mention
How,
anything.
yeah,
not gonna
the Imagined and Geno.
I'm not going to
you
mention
know.
it, but I kind of am though.
You know,
Yeah, I'm
you
kind
know
of
what-
mentioning it, but yeah, that's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Links.
You'll
We're going
see
to
it
talk about the NDA later.
Clark, you know what Links just you know
We're
what Links
both
said?
fired now.
Links said about 40 minutes ago, do not mention Big Bang in all capitals.
Hey,
And it's just
I
group
get
chat.
to mention it. I can cancel it.
I'm-
The event cannot exist without me.
Oh, well.
I'm in control.
So so before we wrap everything up, I have a couple more questions regarding the future I want to ask you guys.
Sure.
You can feel free to be as vague or direct as you want. Outside of Big Bang, because we know that that's like the next big project you guys got coming up. What else? What do you think you might want to do after that? Do you think that you're going to wrap this story up completely, or do you think that there will be something else to tell?
Oh,
from
I
this-
Well,
from
the
this
want
series?
to talk. I want to talk.
Can
so
we talk
badly.
about that
Can I-
or no?
Can I just tease something? Can I just give it out?
Links, be very careful.
No.
Very,
RFC.
very careful. Here.
Wait,
Okay, so
surely we can be vague.
There is
Yeah,
there is
I'll be vague.
the door's open, okay?
The
That's
door
all you
is
need.
open after
Very
Big
open.
Bang. The door will be
Yeah,
open.
that's so
We have
vague. All right,
plans.
sure.
We have
I have
plans for
plans,
something else.
and I cannot share with you because the haters will sabotage me. I have plans.
The door's open.
Share with you.
Yeah, there's
But in the
something
meantime,
planned.
Yes. In the meantime,
Nothing
after
much.
Big Bang, we're gonna take an extensive break from live events. But there is possibility. Like we absolutely want to go back to our events, and we do have plans, and that's all we can say about that. But in the meantime, we're going to be working on non-event projects, which obviously some of them will correlate to the events. Like we've got something in the works in relation to the events. I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But it's been getting a lot of progress the last
I swear I
day or
forget
two.
about half of this stuff, and then I only remember when people say it.
Well, thanks, Tedious. We know you show up to
No,
the meetings and all that. Thanks,
Oh, I
Tedious.
do. I do show up to the
Jeez.
meetings. I've showed up to every single one. Thank you.
He shows up late, doesn't he? Like after all the important information's been said.
No, maybe
Actually,
I did
like,
once.
Links, we did talk. We did talk about. I remember people were asking, would we ever make a fourth event? How do we answer that, Links?
We have plans. That's all. we'll say.
Yes, we have plans.
But the
But-
Reshaped trilogy people need to.
Yeah, that's.
We
I
are-
would-
that's that.
It ends.
All we're gonna
with
say,
Big Bang.
this trilogy is confirmed. We are absolutely doing this trilogy all the way
Yes.
through.
Fair enough.
But
L-
after
go-
that,
After that, go ahead. Sorry.
after that, the doors open, and while we are probably going to take a break, I don't think. While we may not come back to this, I don't think
No, we are.
live event. Well,
We
we're going to. I'm trying to keep it vague, Grifty. Come on.
Oh well. We'll see
But
what happens.
I don't think we're going to stop doing live events. But
Yeah.
we're also
Fair.
going to do other projects outside of live events, which we've got quite a few in the pipeline.
What types of projects do you guys? Can you guys say that? Like, what types of projects do you want
Okay,
to
I-
do?
I can tell
Can I
you
be
this.
vague? Okay.
You could be vague. Okay, I'll tell you this. There are
I'm
other
really
projects.
excited about
there
one
are-
thing in particular.
Yes, same. There are actually two things. One isn't even a Fortnite map. I'm not talking about something else. I cannot tell you about that other thing, but there is one thing that is not a
yeah.
Fortnite map that you, Whiskey, and some others are working on at the moment.
Who?
There is Tedious Whiskey and all that. You're working on something cool. Cannot
Yes.
say what it is just yet. Even
Wait,
Timeless is
who's
working on it.
Whiskey? Who's Whiskey?
But there
Yeah,
is
the guy that you
a
fired,
Luke
right?
guy.
Yeah, Luke.
Oh, yeah.
For his,
Yeah,
for his
yeah.
dumb
That
name.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
He sobered
Luke
up.
What a
guy.
stupid guy. I hope
Um,
he gets fired.
There is absolutely other project like with Chili's Iceberg, which is a FNAF-esque map ran by Damien. He's the project lead of
Yes.
that. And we have some other miscellaneous links. Should we just downright mention what the other thing is that we're working on?
I
The-
want to honestly. I feel like
The
it's
thing
not
we're
even.
Yeah.
go
Yeah, it's a
ahead.
good time.
So can I mention it? Can I mention it?
Just
Yes.
go for it. Just
Okay,
go
so-
for it. Green light.
Okay.
We're working on a map that basically lets you fight all of the bosses from our previous events. On
With
like,
multiple
like
players.
yeah, with multiple players. Like you can fight the Herald, you can fight the Golden Devil, you can fight Fred, and all that.
Fred.
So-
We said
We're-
Fred.
The
and-
best character.
That was
He does not
Doomsday's
know the
villain.
Golden
Doomsday's
Island
villain.
lore.
Yeah,
Yes.
Doomsday's villain.
Who the fuck? Fred.
you'll be able to
Hey,
even
Clint,
Clark,
don't-
if you
do
want
not-
to, if you want to
do not.
interview us,
I've-
you got to go back and play
I
all the
feel like
events.
I
okay?
feel
Come
I
on.
feel like in chapter 4, I remember making a joke about a guy named Fred that shoots laser beams out of his eyes or some shit, and then I use it as like a.
Oh,
and then-
you
You'd be
did.
surprised.
Yeah, you remember what I'm talking about, Tedious? It was like because I was talking
Yeah,
about how
yeah,
frustrated
yeah,
I
yeah.
was with the story.
You're
I'm like, oh
saying-
yeah, Fred is gonna be the new villain. He shoots lasers, and
But
he
he's not going to
disappears.
fucking do
Or
anything.
He's not gonna
Yeah.
do shit. He's just gonna disappear
Clark.
next season.
You'll
Yes.
be able to fight the Nothing in this. We're actually
Really?
Maybe.
well, maybe,
Mm.
maybe depends.
need-
We'll
You guys
see.
need a
We'll
voice.
see.
You guys need a
Yeah,
voice for that.
we'll get you back. We'll get you back.
Maybe we could.
But yeah,
use
no,
a
Fred,
voice for
Fred
it.
was in the
Listen.
second event.
Listen, next time, anytime you guys need a voice, all right, let me know. All right, I got you anytime.
Yes.
I love.
We will let
I
you know.
was so honored when you guys hit me up to do the last project. That was really dope.
You're welcome.
Shut up, Tedious.
I'm kidding.
Shall we just mute him? Shall we just?
I think it's a
you know?
great idea.
Aw,
You should
yeah.
fire him too.
HR fire
Can I have
this guy.
Tedious's
Oh,
job?
no.
Can I write the next
No,
bit of
hell
dialogue?
no.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
go
hey,
Tedious.
we managed the contracts, Thrifty. We could, you know.
We can amend it to
Guys,
expire tomorrow.
This stream is actually my retirement announcement.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No.
Nobody wanted you here anyway. No, I'm
Finally.
joking. Last couple of questions I had. I wanted to talk about creative Fortnite. I noticed you. So you guys have obviously had some challenges with UEFN. There's been a lot of drama in the creative Fortnite space over the last few weeks. So I want to hear from you guys. Let's start with Rifty, because Rifty, you've been, from what I've seen, you've been the most vocal on Twitter. What are some of your biggest frustrations with UEFN, creative Fortnite, just kind of where things are at right now? What are you seeing that's a detriment to the community?
The ecosystem it just feels very mismanaged, in my opinion. Like, it feels like some creators are favored over others. And honestly, like, another problem as well is it also feels like there's a lot of IP infringing maps, and I mean a ton, and it's just killing the whole vibe of the ecosystem. I know Epic does stuff about it, but it doesn't feel like they're doing enough, in my opinion. Like, it feels
didn't
like
they mention that they take down these IP maps if like the IP holder makes a request to take it down?
Yeah.
So
And
you just
they do.
if you're making those IP maps, you're just gambling. That's what you're doing.
one thing
You either
What's the
win-
rule? What's the rule for that? Because I had a conversation with someone recently about that. You're not if the assets are inside of Fortnite, right? Like, let's say a Captain America skin for Fortnite. Are you allowed to use that for
No.
your?
No.
You still can't do that.
No,
Yeah.
that's Marvel, basically, Disney. One thing, what was I gonna say? Oh, it just left me. Oh, good riddance. What was I gonna say? Does anybody else want to
You
express
were talking
their
about.
views?
Well, you were talking about IP. How the IP infringing maps are kind of
Oh,
choking the community
wait.
or choking the
Oh, yeah.
ecosystem.
So there was also one other thing that Epic mentioned about moderation. Do you know that stream that I sent you for your research or whatever, Clark?
Mhm.
I don't know if you watched it yet, but
I
they
did.
mentioned in that stream, they confirmed that a lot of their moderation lately has been done by AI, which is a surprise to nobody. Even though before they said it was entirely human based, but they backtracked and said it was AI in their stream last week. So
I need to listen to
I'm
that
not gonna
part
lie.
again. I don't remember them saying that it was AI. I remember them saying that they had real
Yeah.
people looking at the maps.
Yeah, they said
and
they
were,
had
and that's
real
why
people
that
looking at
some
them
maps
as
weren't taken down right away. That were IP infringing because they have to have a real team go in and double check if the IP holder is making the map or not.
Yeah, so they're pulling a YouTube right there. So that's
It's
pretty
fun.
much- yeah.
It's fun to work in an ecosystem that is very biased. So
I can't wait to play Skibbity box fights.
One of the things that I saw, which I thought was egregious, was when you guys had submitted one of your maps to Epic's Picks. I think it was Fracture.
Yeah,
And
I
it got
know
it got
exactly, so,
it got denied because it wasn't polished enough. That just
The
felt like
map wasn't as interesting.
we
Yeah.
had to free up the spot for
Yeah, we
Skippy
should have
Toilet
made a
Zone Wars.
pit. Seriously.
And then we submitted Skyfire, and it's got through the first round of applications.
It feels
So,
like
pretty quickly
it
as
feels
well.
like actually
Yeah.
gambling, like a casino. How do they moderate
Good
this
at
stuff?
gambling.
How do they look at something and say, yeah,
because
this is high quality, this is low quality? How? I don't get it.
I'm going to
I'm sure
quote.
they have a
I'm
list.
going to quote the screenshots. The main reason for not moving forward with your submission was suggesting creating a more polished and detailed map to stand out.
That's what they
That
said.
was the quote.
which
I'm
is
sorry, we're not
absurd.
Skibbity Toilet Zone Wars.
See that does see when I see stuff like that, that makes me think that AI is responding. That an actual team is not looking at that. There's no possible way. I could have understood if they wrote you back and they said, "We love your submission. We just have so many others that we need to get to first. Please resubmit maybe in a couple of months because we have other projects in the pipeline to put out first."
Yeah.
I think that would have been a real personal and an understandable response. Like, oh,
Yeah.
they like the project. It's just they got so many other people ahead of us. That's cool. Yeah, we'll come back in a month, and like that. That to me makes sense. But saying it's not enough detail or it's not, it makes absolutely no sense. But
Clark.
let me hang on real quick. Let me say this: the thing that I think is working in your guys' favor now is because they've shown off your project at what was it, GDC.
That's the most ironic
they
thing
can't
ever.
say it's not good now.
Now that they've done that, like they're like, okay, yeah, we kind of have to give these guys epic.
We use it
picks.
as an example, but it sucks.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's no way. There's absolutely no. Plus, here's the thing, and this is what I think people need to understand. I think that Epic has a lot to get right when it comes to the creative ecosystem. I think there's a lot that they are doing wrong, but I also think that the task that they have is insanely difficult to manage. Just from the things that I heard in that live stream, doesn't mean that you can't be frustrated with it, right? It doesn't mean that they don't need to do a better job and need to work at improving the ecosystem. All of those things are true. However, I think the best thing to do is what you guys have done, which is instead of getting mad and throwing your hands up and giving up, I think you did the right thing. You are building a relationship with Epic Games in spite of the minor setbacks that you had. You're still establishing value within the community to Epic themselves. That's why they're reaching out to you directly to talk to you. Yeah, like there's conversations that need to be had, but I think they're respectful conversations. And I also think that there's still, even though this is not a popular take, a popular opinion, I still think there's a bit of grace that needs to be given to Epic to manage something like this, because no one's ever really done what they're doing right now, right? And there probably is a mix between AI as well as an actual moderation team, because if you think about what they were saying, like there are thousands of maps getting published a day. Just because of that fact alone, that means that it's the likelihood of them, one, being able to find all the maps right away, whether they be spam maps, right, or promoting the good ones, it's just damn near impossible to do that, even with a solid moderation team. There's gonna be trade-offs. There's gonna have to be, it's a balancing act, and they're gonna have to improve upon things. You know what I mean? But it's about giving them the time and the grace to improve that system. And I think that what you guys are doing is you're proving like, even though like the system is flawed, you can still make it work if your product is profound enough. If it's good enough, you know. Riffy, there was something you wanted to say though.
Oh no, I was just saying that it's so ironic how they declined us for Epic's picks, and then they chose our map to feature at GDC as an example.
Right.
I think that's just ironic.
Yeah, I think
was this
let
was it
me mention-
Skyfire or was it Fracture that got picked? Fracture got
I
put
wanna
in for
mention-
Epic's picks?
denied. The one they denied.
Yeah, I
but
just
which
wanna
one got
mention real
approved?
quick,
Skyfire.
Skyfire.
Skyfire got approved. Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me mention. We have a group chat with an Epic employee whose name is Jag. I don't know who their full name is, but they were the speaker at that GDC, like the thing, you know. And I'm pretty sure they were the ones who suggested to them, like, can we put this event into the compilation, please? And I'm so glad they did. Like, if you're watching this, oh, you're the best Epic employee. Thank you for that. That was amazing. Yeah, it's
go
a
ahead.
cool guy. That's it. I'm done.
like I said, I think that it's like what you guys do is commendable. You're going to be frustrated. You're gonna have setbacks. There's gonna be bad things that happen. There's always gonna be some level of favoritism, right? But at the same time, I think you guys are doing an amazing job at operating within the system. And I think a lot of the people that work behind the scenes at Epic, I think they're doing the best they can with the resources that they have. You know what I mean? But I think with people like you guys working, like when they work with teams like you, in spite of your frustrations, you guys have still come across as respectful. I haven't seen anything I haven't seen you guys like slandering the Epic Games team, but the irony of your situation should be highlighted, right? Okay, so we make one of the most accurate, you know, or the most complex live events, creative live events ever. It's so good you're advertising at the GDC, but you also won't use this for Epic's picks. There's something wrong here, right? I think even Epic themselves realize that something's wrong, which is why I think your next map got in. I think that, you know,
they're jealous.
They're jealous because you made Fracture better.
Jealousy.
They're
What
jealous
was
because
it? How
Donald
many
Musk is
people-
following you on Twitter now.
How many people on Twitter, as soon as we said Skyfire went down, said that it's because Epic was jealous?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of
It was so
uproar
much.
when
It was
Skyfire went
so
down,
much
and
uproar.
it literally, the community flocked to harass Epic Games, and it really got so bad.
Yeah,
That's not
We had to
good.
clarify.
Max. It's,
So
That and
yeah,
that's
and it
that's
was all
Go ahead.
Whiskey's fault.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks,
Whiskey's
Whiskey.
fault.
Nice job, Whiskey. That's why they fired you.
Luke.
Imagine. No.
Yeah, we fired
Luke-
Whiskey.
Luke
we hired
now.
Yeah, we
go.
killed him.
Fly high.
Sobered
Fly
up.
high.
Aye.
He went on a sobering
We
journey
we
after
put him in
fired
the deep sleep.
Listen, guys, I think you have pretty much answered all my questions that I've had. I appreciate you being so gracious with your time, for you guys even coming on the live stream, allowing me to interview you for the pod. This has been fantastic. Any of you, is there anything before we close this bad boy out? Is there anything you want to say? Anything you want to talk about with any upcoming projects? Anybody you want to give a special shout out or thank you to before we end this off?
Watch this space.
I just personally want to thank Lynx for bringing these events to life, because without him, there wouldn't be an event. We wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be talking to Clark. So I just want to thank him. So
Of course, man.
yeah,
That's fine.
I met him several years ago. He's a really great guy. So thank you, Lynx.
Yeah.
The
round of
claps.
applause.
The claps.
Clapping.
That was,
Yay!
So,
yay, round of applause.
There is the Big Bang is coming, and it is a banger.
It is.
It's
Wow.
a banger.
I'll also
It's
say
big,
the thing that I
and it's
mentioned
banging.
before. I'm very excited about that map too. Like there's
Same.
stuff, really cool stuff coming other than the events, and the thing that's connected to the map that we're working on, and also the boss fight. Like there's a lot other than just the
Yeah.
events. So
Very nice. Well,
Exactly.
listen,
Can't wait to
I'm
get my grubby
excited.
little fingers in there.
I
Sorry?
go ahead.
What
Wait.
did-
What did you say?
I just didn't hear whatever someone said.
Lynx,
Oh, I
think
said I can't wait to get my grubby little fingers in there. That's gonna be great.
Listen,
of course
guys,
you
you,
did links.
you can't keep teasing my audience with stuff that you're not going to reveal. Okay, all right. I'm not going to let you do it anymore. It's enough. No more
Wait.
edging.
Also, I
Never.
just remembered, Clint. It's Drubber, not Druba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
I heard
final
you.
Pronounce his
contribution.
name
Ban
wrong this entire
Fortnite.
time. Just
I like
for Drubber.
I like
Fuck
Drubba
this.
better. Change your name. No, I'm sorry.
I'm
Drew,
putting
I
your
thought-
name in the credits next event as KLINT, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna spell your name CLA or K. Just as
Not again.
Listen, there's a difference between mispronunciation and just improper spelling. Okay, but whatever, fine. You can
Revenge.
flip that coin. It's fine.
I normally expect it to be my name. I'm what? How bad
Wait.
did Nick say my name?
Gigala.
Igala.
Gigila. Gigila.
Gigila.
Godzilla.
That sounds like a very
Godzilla.
fancy like clothing brand. Gigila. I like
Yeah, it
that.
does.
Noted.
Guys,
Don't make him
listen.
too angry.
Alright.
Like I said, I appreciate y'all being on. This was amazing. Look, if you ever need any help with anything in the future, please do not hesitate to reach out. Whether it's another pod, promo, voice acting, writing, whatever you guys need. If you want me to do some work, I'm here for you. I believe in what you guys do, and I think that you're putting out the stuff that the community needs right now.
Thank you.
Hands down. The work you guys are doing is beyond impressive. Flaws or whatever, flaws and all, keep going. Because you guys, especially as young as a lot of you guys are, a lot of you guys are under 20 years old, and I think everybody on the team is under 20 that I've talked to today. You all are all amazing young men, and you're doing a fantastic job. I could have never imagined doing something on the level that you guys are doing right now.
I'm 20.
Well, all right, old man, we'll get out.
No. Don't bully him.
Listen,
21 in 2 weeks.
oh, one more thing. Someone in chat earlier, I think it was my boy Liam, asked, "Hey, can you guys do the scene from Avengers Endgame when everyone comes out of the portals?"
We've been asked
Oh,
that like
no.
50
You guys are
times.
gonna do that, right? You guys are gonna do that? Can we get a
Oh,
confirmation here that you guys are gonna do that? Will you please do that? Hey,
No.
If you fund
Uh,
that scene, if you fund the next event, we'll do it.
yeah.
Oh, guys, we're gonna
If you-
start a
if you want
fundraiser
to
now.
be
It'll be a
Fan
ridiculous
FPS.
amount of money.
in that scene.
GoFundMe for
I
a
feel
Big
like that would be
Bang
more of a
scene.
Farrell's move than you guys. what you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
Yeah.
no, certainly. I was
Yeah.
thinking that. Yeah.
You know,
Farrell's-
maybe we should collab with him.
I
Yeah, that's
I
what
can
Oh,
I can
Actually,
I can
does
I can
know
s-
him,
I can
so-
set that up with you guys. If you want to maybe work with Farrell's. I don't know what his schedule's like, but
Please.
I'm sure he's very aware. I'm pretty sure Farrell's and I have talked about you guys before behind the scenes. But
Oh,
Absolutely.
I wanna know what he thinks of us so bad.
I'm sure Farrell's
He
is,
actually hates us.
yeah, he did tell me
Biggest
directly that
hater.
those guys fucking suck. How dare they kind of step in on my territory? I'm the live
Yeah,
events guy,
well.
so yeah, they're
We're the
ass.
cinematic guy.
Listen. Hey, if they want the beef, we're right here. We're right here.
Listen, bro.
Mm.
Okay, I
I've
don't
ended
know.
a few career. I've ended a few careers
Fucking Big
before.
Bang
Damn, you
Theory.
guys are gonna. Yo, can you imagine Fortnite animator beef? Just Pharaohs
Oh,
versus
Oh,
Team
that's
Genesis.
crazy.
But
That's
seriously, I'd love to work with him
Mm.
on an event in the future because imagine
We did
us two.
discuss.
Imagine our like Genesis's skills in events and his like cinematography, whatever skills combined together to make one good event.
Listen,
I think
there-
Stop would only enjoy
actually,
more
you know
animals.
what? You know what? There is a project that I've been wanting to do for about 3 years now. I
Ooh.
told Tedious about it
Do
a
I know
long
what
time
you
ago.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Did
one that
you?
I wanted to do a long time ago. That if
Mhm.
between you and Farrell's would be
I think that'd be very possible.
that shit would go crazy. For the
Yeah.
we might have to talk off
Yeah.
camera.
We'll,
It's like
we'll get another
Revolution
6-hour call
time.
going.
that would be one
DMs.
that I would want to spearhead the writing on. But there's a story that I've been wanting to tell for a long time.
Yes.
I think
You
the
are very
community would really
serious
love.
about this, right? Because I'd love to.
No, I'm dead
work
ass.
with
Like
you.
I actually the thing is I've been pitching it to Farrell's slowly behind the scenes. Like, hey, bro, you ever thought about doing something like this? And he's not opposed to it, but he's so busy with his projects, it's kind of tough. But maybe if he could share the workload, and maybe if we change the format of it a little bit, maybe instead of it just being like a animated project, maybe turn into some kind of creative event or something. Maybe that would be the
Yeah, it
best.
could be a mix of
best route.
cinematics and gameplay.
Yeah, but I think that would be I'll talk to you guys about it later. But I think that would be amazing. Something that this would be like a really big thing to try to unify the community together. So we'll talk about that later. Anyway, chat, I love y'all. We're gonna end the stream here. Might be back later this evening. I gotta edit Saturday's video for y'all. Get that knocked out. Once that's done, maybe I will do a late night stream. See if Microwave's on. Maybe run a few games with him. But yeah, we will be back next week. My first stream is probably gonna be on Tuesday, covering Fortnite OG, the new update, all of that. After I get this video done, I need a few days to rest, but I had to get the podcast done with the boys here. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the 0 Point Podcast. Gentlemen, thank you for being amazing guests. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
we'll
Thank
catch y'all
you.
soon. We love you.